Police and fire.
There's been some type of an incident. There's been a freight train and a Amtrak train, a collision or some type of damage between the two.
Okay, we'll start them out there.
7 Bravo 70. Federal Cartridge 900 Bob Allen Drive. Reporting at mile marker 26.1. A freight train and Amtrak train collision has just occurred, possibly a hazmat spill. Unknown what materials are on board. We are starting ambulance and fire department.
Well, today we had a full-scale emergency response drill here at Federal Cartridge in Anoka.
We simulated 2 trains crashing, and the goals for this drill was to better prepare all the emergency responders in Anoka County, as well as some of our support agencies that would generally respond to that type of incident.
The people involved with the design team are really thinking broad scope. What are the ideas we can generate? What are we trying to accomplish as goals by this drill here?
7 Bravo 70, 3 tanker cars on fire in the north end of the federal building. 1 has a toxic placard, 2 have flammable material placards.
3 tanker cars are on fire on the north end of the property. 2 of them are hazardous material, 817.
I've got approximately 7 passenger rail cars derailed and overturned. They're stacked up on one another. Bravo 70, I need fire to come to gate 3 between North Street and gate 5. They're in the end to breach the fence. We're also going to need some kind of heavy rescue capability. There's people scattered around. I can see them hanging out of the rail cars and tossed out of the rail cars.
The planning portion, I think, was the largest piece of this entire project. This piece took about 18 months.
There were about 350 people involved, including about 150 victims that were moulaged and or made to look like they were injured.
First, we came up with the scope, okay, how are we going to put this drill together? And then we had every discipline put together objectives. When we put the objectives together, they were instrumental in using for our critiquing of this drill. Did we meet the objectives?
So we tried not to leave any of the details out. We tried to think of everything that might happen should we have 2 trains crash.
Squads on the scene are advising that responders should go to gate number 3, gate 3, which is off of North Street.
We have multiple cars, multiple wounded. We're going to need ambulance assistance. We also would like the Anoka County Technical Rescue Team sent to this area.
825.
The big preparations that we had to do here was obviously the setup. We used 3 different areas on Federal's property. We used the north sector, or Sector 1, which it was called during the drill. That was the big mass casualty incident area. Sector 2 was actually the southeast side of the facility where we had the North Star train. And again, being able to get the BNSF Metro Transit individuals on site. And then Sector 3 was the hazmat portion, which again involved a lot of Burlington Northern individuals, hazmat individuals.
So once we pieced that all together and it got closer to drill time, it was putting the logistics together of it. We had to get a North Star train out there on the tracks. We had to get people moulaged. We had to get them looking as though they were injured. The north area, we had the area that we used for some of the critical patients. We actually used 6 Metro Transit buses and laid them out just as though they would look if they derailed. On the far west corner of the federal property, and we had to get tankers from Burlington Northern, Santa Fe off the track and into a specific location that we could use for the chemical assessment portion.
Can we get an engine, an aerial from Andover deployed to this location on the north end? We'd also like a chief officer from Andover or Ramsey.
Just about every police and fire agency in Anoka County had representatives at the drill.
I believe we fed over 487 people, something of that nature. So you've got to think of water in the field, you've got to think of porta potties, you've got to think of all those various things that typically you wouldn't.
Security was a big issue. I guess that was probably one of our biggest, things that we had to deal with, is making sure that everyone could get on site, the equipment, the trucks, the tools.
Working together with evacuation and dealing with chemical spill, dealing with injured passengers, getting them medical attention, getting them triage, getting them to Mercy.
It was really a community effort that pulled this off.
Through the planning of all this, I really got to meet a lot of faces and a lot of people that I need to know in the emergency management community. And that's actually the time that I want to meet those people. I don't want to be exchanging business cards with them, you know, in the midst of a crisis.
We got to work with other agencies. We don't often get a chance to work with the rail people or Metro Transit. That was great. It was nice to have them as part of our design team and learn how they function, what they do.
Based upon where we're located here in Anoka, it's a very real possibility that the train derailment could happen with the freight train and the passenger train. And you just have to think about the types of materials and the types of product that we're working with. You know, we have a lot of explosives on type. We have a lot of different types of chemicals. So that's something that's very real and it's on the forefront of, you know, things that we really need to be concerned about.
All in all, the drill went very well. Lasted about a little over 3 hours.
We always hope a mass casualty, big crisis event doesn't happen, but if it happens, we're going to be more prepared for it because of this drill.
It was an absolute pleasure to be part of the drill, to be part of the design of the drill, and to be able to see this thing come full circle and meet the goals that we did.